Hello, how's it going? Today, we're talking about Eldre'Thalas, the binding of Immol'Thar and the fracturing of Arathor. Lots of stuff to get through in roughly 5 minutes, so let's go! In case you've forgotten, Eldre'Thalas was a city founded back in the Night Elf Empire, pre-Sundering. The elves there had been charged by Azshara with the storage and safekeeping of her most precious tomes. Led by Prince Tortheldrin, they narrowly escaped the Sundering by weaving a great spell and shielding Eldre'Thalas. These elves were known as the Chendralar, or Forgotten Ones, and once again, without the Well of Eternity, their immortality had diminished, and they had found themselves lonely, tired, and just not really enjoying themselves all that much. But then, Tortheldrin came up with a plan. He forged pylons in one of the damaged wings of Eldre'Thalas, constructing a prison. This prison would house a new source of power for the elves. A demon Tortheldrin had summoned and bound, named Immol'Thar. The other Chendralar were kind of shocked to find this out, but once they experienced the demon's energy for themselves, they were like, okie dokie. Immol'Thar's power was invigorating and addictive, even more so than the Well of Eternity had been. They developed a means to use the demon's power to keep him imprisoned, and for thousands of years, everything was dandy. But the cost of keeping Immol'Thar imprisoned required more and more power, and nearly 9,000 years after the Sundering, it began consuming so much energy, there wasn't much left for the Chendralar to siphon for themselves. So basically what's happened here is, they've become addicted to a source of power, and now there is none. And that's terrible. So Tortheldrin had a little brain trust meeting with his closest allies, and they came up with a plan. They straight up murdered many of the other Chendralar. And although this plan might seem a little over the top and mental, it worked. With the population thinned, the remaining elves were able to draw upon Immol'Thar's power indefinitely. However, with their numbers diminished, they abandoned much of their once glorious city. Most of Eldre'Thalas fell into darkness and disrepair. As a result, other creatures from the surrounding areas moved in to stake their claim. Later on, this city would become known as Dire Maul. But enough of that. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Kingdoms, the trading outposts and cities established in the Kingdom of Arathor after the Troll Wars had continued to grow and become more independent, and Strom's influence was slipping away. Kul Tiras boasted a massive navy, the greatest in all of Arathor. They explored the coast of the Eastern Kingdom, often returning with exotic goods and strange tales. Unable to compete with this navy, Gilneas focused on bolstering its land-based armies and commercial capabilities. The military of Gilneas became the most powerful in Arathor, equalled only by the city-state of Ulterac. Gilneas and Ulterac would often join forces and lead expeditions to secure Arathor's borders. South of Strom, in Khazmodan, they came across the dwarves and gnomes, and they bloody loved them. The three cultures engaged in rigorous trade, exchanging knowledge in smithing, mining, engineering, and even arcane magic. But Strom was struggling to keep up. Its surrounding terrain had been great as a natural defence against trolls, but lacked natural resources. Their economy was collapsing. Many of the noble families thought screw this and went north, founding a city-state and naming it after the region, Lordaeron. Some priests that had settled within the region of Lordaeron after the Troll Wars had begun having faint visions and dreams. In these dreams, they'd commune with angelic beings surrounded by a bright light. They didn't realise they'd actually been talking to the Naru in the Great Dark Beyond. Through this connection, the Naru guided the humans towards the Holy Light. This religious movement flourished, and many humans made pilgrimage to the city-state in search of wisdom and enlightenment. As a result, Lordaeron's borders quickly expanded, and it matured into a proper kingdom. The heart of this flourishing nation was renamed, and it has one of the most original and creative names I've ever heard. It was called Capital City. Strom was getting pretty empty now, and it wasn't long before the last living descendants of King Thoradin left. By sea, they set off south, enticed by rumours of lush, unplumbed land where they could make a new home. And these rumours proved true. They settled the land and founded the Kingdom of Stormwind. There was one group that were too stubborn to leave Strom though, descendants of Igneous Trollbane. Over the years, they rebuilt Strom's crumbling infrastructure and renamed the capital Stromgarde. The city, however, would never regain its former glory. Thoradin's dream of a unified people was dying. Over generations, the various city-states became increasingly distant and insular. Shame, really. And we're leaving it there! So that was interesting. Another bloody type of elves, and humans doing a little Brexit thing. In Friday's video, we'll be looking at the Centaur and the Achaea have a little story. So if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed and come back on Friday. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button, talk to me in the comments, and all that's left to say is, thanks very much for watching, and see ya!